Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Sunday night entertainment. It is the 72 review, and we've got the first team out in force today. Well, Jake's off, so we'll start below me with with Lee around the grounds. Let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Yeah.
Oh, not you.
It's on air now.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm Lee, Wednesday fan. When I'm not watching Sheffield Wednesday, I'm ground hopping for my YouTube channel around the grounds and absolutely loving getting to games and enjoying the football being back.
Lovely stuff. We will now move on to Jake. He's back. Jake, let people know. That makes up for last week.
Yes. I'm Jake, Puncture 41. I cover all things Sheffield Wednesday. It's a little bit mental at the minute. Give it time, patience, and all that kind of stuff. But that's what I do. And I think it was last week or the week after I hit 3K. So it's been a good week. 3K and 1.5 million views on the actual channel of the lifetime, which scared the crap out of me. It's like I'm worth about George Hurst for Ipswich.
That's decent, mate. Congratulations on that.
Thank
you. Yeah.
And finally, final person on the panel is Ian in the bottom corner. Let people know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, mate.
Hello, I'm Ian. I'm 61-year-old Miller season ticket holder, and when the Millers are away, I'm off around the country vlogging for Over the Bar YouTube channel. Loving what I'm doing and just really taking in the sport that I love.
Great stuff.
Before we start on EFL stuff, can I just make a point? Is it Harry Kane that's the problem that Spurs didn't win a trophy? Because he's now gone to Bayern and he's had the chance to win a trophy and he's blown it.
It
could well be.
It was a bit ironic, weren't it? Yeah.
And Spurs looked half decent today.
See?
There you go.
Yeah, drawing at the Mitre Brentford. That's why Spurs will never win out. Thinking a draw at Brentford's a good result.
Anyway, enough about that Premier League crap. We're not here for that.
Calm down, Bobby Madley.
Not yet.
I can tell already that this is going to be an interesting hour's show. We've got a lot of complaining to do. We've got a lot of grumbling to do. As always, get your comments in. It does drive conversation as we're going through the leagues. We're going to start in League 2 today, go on to League 1 and then finish in the Championship. ATID is already in there. Championship stuff is easy. Unreal Point yesterday could have been all free. So, yeah, we will touch on that. Ryan Clark, since we scored, we're not really in the game. Very poor. So that's Barnsley against Bristol Rovers. Bristol deserved the goal, but it was offside yesterday.
Come on, Ryan. You just gutted you didn't get another 7.
Yeah. Jonathan will be a very happy MK Dons fan at the minute. Yeah, it's definitely going to be some therapy this evening. John, I think whilst Donny have spent some good years in the upper leagues, ultimately they're a lower League 2 National League team.
Ooh,
hopefully that's incorrect. It's going to take time. We'll start with Donny in a second. We've got Ainsley. Evening, boys. Hope your weekend was better than mine. Yeah, it's been a tough one. And as Lee's just put, smash the like so everybody can get on board and people might not know that this exists. So let's get the results up on screen. Banner going across as well. And we'll start at a very, very poor performance and poor result for Donny in South Wales. Yeah, I think an opening dreadful 21 minutes kind of killed this game off. 3 goals in 15 minutes, just absolutely destroyed any sort of game plan that we had. Lizzie went to the game. She's in the chat. Evening, boys, going for my run and then tuning in. 300-mile round trip to Newport yesterday. Yeah, she looked happy going, not so much coming back. I will put in the description Lizzie's GoFundMe. She's doing 53 kilometers for her dad's 53rd birthday. So if you can give anything, please do. That'll be in the link in the description down below. But yeah, on to this one. It was just a very poor performance. And we were talking before we came live that potentially it was just a really good Newport performance and a really bad Doncaster one. Saw on a lot of social media posts from Newport fans saying it's the best football they've seen in years. And I think sometimes you just get them games where one team just absolutely outperforms what they normally do, and then one team massively underperforms. But we're also saying Harrogate and Newport in our first 2 games, 2 teams that have been tipped for relegation in League 2 or to struggle, and we've not scored, we've not laid glove on them, and we've conceded 5. So there are slight concerns very early. I think we've got to give it time. Everything's new. We've got new team, with new players, new management system. Lizzie's saying that she can't explain the contrast.
I was going to say that's the thing after the whole game
yesterday. So I think that's where I'm kind of holding on to. The performance on Tuesday night shows where we could be, and the performance yesterday shows where we sometimes currently are. So we've got some tough games coming up. We've got Mansfield Tuesday night, Notts County Saturday, MK Dons the Saturday after, and then Everton at home for the final game of August. Looking at those 3 games, it could be 0.
Run.
Yeah, it's
a very
tough run. But I'm hoping the tough run reaps more rewards than what the easier run has done. So James is in the chat, a Newport fan. To be fair, the game yesterday was one of the best performances I've seen from Newport in a while. And I've seen a lot of that.
Keep seeing that on social media as well. They keep just saying,
yeah, it's not an uncommon post. So I think maybe have we been found out in terms of pressing quickly, pressing high? I'm not sure. We've got to. I think we've got to wait at least 5 to 10 games to see how it settles down. But yeah, it's not good reading. But you look at the possession. We've had more of the ball. We're still having shots at goal, which we weren't having last season. I know it's only 2 on target, but I mean, Newport 6 shots on target, 4 converted. They've just had a really good game, I think. It's one of those where I think we've got to put it behind us, lick us wounds. I'm glad that we've got a game on Tuesday to try and put it right very quickly.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I hate to do this.
Got that much more moaning. I think we.
I hate to do this because he's a player.
Oh, the own goal.
Yeah.
But that was just a calamity. Defenders swiping
to be honest,
at the ball.
It just hit Woody. He couldn't do anything about it.
He couldn't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping it's just a blip, flash in the pan sort of result, and we start to come into his own and see more of the performance and the team that we saw at Hull midweek to what we saw yesterday. But there's little concerns creeping in, but nothing to panic about yet. Although I have seen on social media, obviously meltdowns, but we're 2 games in. The season's very early, and that's
if you're on 0 points with 10 games gone, then you're every right to panic, but not until.
Yeah.
I think it just shows the quality of this league, though, Dan, doesn't it? I mean,
it's getting better, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all tipping the teams to do well, but you're always going to get teams that are surprise packages and do well.
Yeah,
I mean,
look how Stockport have started.
Yeah,
that everybody's tipped for champions and the 2 defeats.
Where are they?
I tell you something, they were great against us.
Yeah,
midweek they were really good against us. They look dangerous. I was like, if they play how they did against us midweek in League 2, they'll do well. But they were just off the boil again. It's like it's weird because they looked so good, and you look at what they brought in, you think this should be a thing, but it's weird. It's like a lot of teams have forgotten how to defend this season so far.
It looks actually from the stats that we're a bit of a smash and grab by Walsall, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stockport, I think, are really lacking that goal scorer. That they created chances last week at a game I went to. We just didn't. A bit toothless up front.
But you'd think with Wootton and Paddy Madden up front, they'd score a hatful, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The thing is, though, 18 shots is good, but it's your 3 on target.
Yeah, you're not going to.
That's very true. Yeah.
Well, Neil said it. Stockport started slow last season and pushed on as the season went on. So maybe they're just slow starters. But yeah, poor result for them.
Yeah, I think we forget we're only 2 games in.
Yeah.
I think within that divide of football over the summer, you just get really back into it, and you get back into it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. Another game I wanted to touch on, the two that I was going to touch on were Notts County and Gillingham. Is there any that you guys want to talk about before I go on to one of them?
How well Barrow have started. They beat
Barrow
Tranmere last week when I were there, and they looked a very, very good outfit. And they've followed that up with I think they did the winning midweek in the Carabao. I think they did. And they've followed that up with a 2-1 win against the Sutton side that scored 5 last week against Notts.
They got beat 1-0 midweek against Bolton.
Which isn't a bad result, really.
I'm going to say
When you
1-0
consider
versus
they were up
Bolton.
against
Decent.
Bolton.
Yeah.
But yeah, they look a good outfit. And ex-Miller, Jamie Proctor, Claxon, please, scored the winner. And Sutton put 5 past Notts County last week, so that makes it an even better result, especially as they came back from being a goal down. But Sutton had a red card, unfortunately, so that might have
But to be
influenced
fair,
things a
though,
little bit. But it
you
looks like
look
from
at the time of the
stats
red card.
that Barrow deserved to win.
Yeah.
But if you look at the time of the red card, 13 minutes.
Yeah,
They'd only
early in
just,
the
they
game,
don't,
yeah.
but they'd only just lost it right near the end,
yeah.
kind of thing. So it could be that just that last little glimpse of concentration gone.
Yeah,
You can
it
get to
sometimes
like,
happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're under the cosh.
yeah.
Yeah,
But no, good result for Barrow.
Yeah.
Jake, you mentioned Crawley. Obviously,
Crawley versus Salford. That's a really good result. Granted, it doesn't help that it's an own goal film. But if you actually look at stats, Crawley battered them in shots. They
Yeah.
had more of the ball, more passes. It's weird. We've all said they struggle, but so far that says otherwise.
it's a pretty good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of those games where you look at it, it's like, and you can tell with the own goal and then 47, they just come straight out. If it is straight after half time, you don't know these days because how much other
because
time
the
was
first
there?
half injury time. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I think that was after the break.
there we go. But that,
yeah, because it had said 45 plus whatever,
True.
wouldn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
But it does say a lot how they've just gone, right, we've been in at our time, we've been absolutely rollicked, let's go at it. And I
Yeah.
think by the looks, it looks like Crawley had some good chances. If they were a bit more clinical, they might have won it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned about Stockport having a couple of shots on target with 18 shots at goal. Similar with Crawley, 16 shots at goal, only 2 on target. The accuracy is not quite there, is it? But I think, is that a win and a draw for Crawley now, I believe?
yeah, it is,
Yeah.
Win and a draw.
Yeah, so fantastic start for them when so many tip them for having a really poor season.
It is
Against-
early days, but it's encouraging.
Against
Go back to what you said,
Bradford and
what Lee
Salford.
said. The standard of football in League Two is improving a lot. There's some really good games in there.
There used to be the thing when it went Prem, Champ, and League One, League Two. People are like, oh, it's not decent. You can't do that anymore. League Two and League One are on its own level now, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed that Tranmere Barrow game because it were end to end and it was quite exciting. So never diss League Two. It's a damn good league.
It is indeed. Lee, is there any games that you want to touch on?
Just Notts County getting the first win. Good result really against Grimsby. I think Notts County. Who's that?
John Bostock.
Bostock.
Oh, I see him.
Wait, did he play for Wednesday and Donny?
Yeah.
Double whammy. No, I think Notts County is going to be like this. I think they're going to score a lot of goals, but also concede a lot. But good to get the
They've
first
conceded
win.
7 in the first 2 games, haven't they?
Yeah. But they will score a lot of goals. But yeah, good to get that first win on the board. I think it's always important, especially for a team coming up, isn't it, to get that first win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
definitely.
is.
Start
And funnily
finding your
enough,
feet.
the guy that scored all the goals last season, that Longstaff, he's not scored yet.
No, he hasn't.
No.
has he?
And Notts
yeah,
County
yeah.
get you next, Dan.
We've got them on Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping that you're right in terms of leaking a lot of goals because we're yet to score. So yeah, it'd be nice to pop a few in, but yeah, I do worry about our defence.
I'll tell you this much, it'll be a damn good crowd
Mm.
Yeah.
for the
I think
Notts
that's what we-
game because they do
Yeah,
travel
I mean,
well.
we've got Mansfield Tuesday. They always travel well,
Yeah.
and then Notts County Saturday. So we've got a couple of decent gates, hopefully. Just
Also, what you need to remember with attendances, if you actually look at what the dates are now, is you'll start getting more crowd because a lot of people will be coming off of holidays.
Yeah.
Because
true.
it getting to the back end of where the 6 weeks is done, so there'll be more people to go and like get gates in. Because like, if you look, it's always funny. 'Cause you can always tell when the season starts and how the gates go. You can always tell when they're all on holiday and when they're back.
Well, in midweek, when we played Morecambe in the Carabao Cup, there were only 2,800 there. There was just no atmosphere at all.
Mm.
Yeah. So moving on to Gillingham Accrington. So this is a game that I kind of picked out. Gillingham, 2 wins out of 2. We had them tipped for being up there or thereabouts in the top 7. I think they've just continued that really good form from last season. Obviously, started poorly last season. There were a change in ownership in January, and they just pushed on from there. And I think they've just managed to recruit really well and continue that positive kind of mentality moving into this season. I think 2 wins out of 2, a scoreline which could have really been more, but against a team that's just been relegated in Accrington Stanley, who won 3-0 last week. I think this is a really good result, and it kind of puts a marker down to the league, I believe, that Gillingham.
And they've just signed that Macaulay Bonne, haven't they?
Yeah,
Gillingham.
really good signing for League Two as well.
It is for League Two. It's superb.
If he can stay fit, he'll smash this league.
Yeah, so I think Gillingham
I
are
can't
definitely
see
one.
Gillingham not getting promoted. And this early in the season, I'm saying that. But
Yeah,
I think the thing, when you said about them getting taken over in January, the one thing that got me with that is that it looks like they've listened and checked everything through and gone, we know what it needs, we know what's what. It's like these actually, instead of like just taking over and just throwing money at it and go, oh, well, it's not worked. They've actually looked and spoke to Harris and gone, where do you need it? Why are we struggling? Could you look at last season when they started nicking players from Crawley, like their top goal scorer? It says a lot.
yeah,
it does indeed. Same as last week, we're not going to go into the tables until 5 to 10
about
games
5
in.
games, I'd say.
Yeah, main reason is because of that, but we'll quickly
It's depressing.
go.
Oh, dear.
Well,
But
look at that
here you
bottom
come.
We'll flip it upside down. But no, the table settles down after about 5 games, so we'll have a look more
You
into
won't.
that.
Hey, we're
Yeah.
20th
Yeah,
in
I hope we've got
Championship start the
2 points
season
on it as
now.
well. MTFC has come into the chat. I'm concerned for Morecambe, though, putting 9 men behind the ball and had no attacking threat. Could have been double digits, but when you have Akins and Oakes up top, you have no chance scoring more than 5. Yeah, I mean,
Mansfield
really,
look good.
yeah,
Mansfield
really good
look
performance,
really
and that
good.
worries me.
And they've recruited
Tuesday
really
night.
well.
I'll tell you something, if they have a solid back line, that's a lot to do with having Aidan Flint. That is just a marquee signing for League Two. That's insane.
Yeah. Very good.
Aidan Flint, we
Yeah.
have doubt.
So
But they can't.
moving on
I mean,
to-
as a club, they can't afford to screw it up this time because they've just been there and thereabouts for so many seasons. And like I said on one of the previous ones, the Radford family just put money in all the time. They need a return on their investment. And I think this season might be it.
You can go off people, ATID.
every single Yorkshire team are in and around the bottom of their respective leagues.
2
Barnsley
games,
are all right,
2
aren't they?
games.
Yeah, Barnsley are near top. The 5th.
Shut up, ATID. Don't know what you're on about.
Yeah.
We'll ignore where Donny are, though.
And
Moving on to League One. So we said it yesterday, last week, that there's a League One show that Nappers 4-0 written all over it. Jake, Tom,
yeah.
and another person named
Lincoln fan off at
Tom?
Stacey West podcast.
That's
What's
Jake
his
Tong.
name?
Oxford fan, isn't he?
Jack.
Anyway,
Is it Jack?
they do a League One podcast where it dives a little bit deeper
Jack
into
Ward.
League
Jack Ward. That's his name.
One. Recommend you going to watch them because they do dive into League One a little bit deeper than what we do, because obviously none of our teams are in this division, but we will touch on a few games. We've got a couple of Barnsley fans and Bristol Rovers, One Rovers vlogs in here as well. So I think we'll start there. Obviously, Barnsley smashing 7 past Port Vale last week. High expectation coming into this one, scoring after 7 minutes. I think Bristol Rovers fans will have been thinking,
"Oh no,
dear."
here we go." Yeah, I actually spoke to a Port Vale fan who went last week, and he said it wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be. They actually were they started okay. They just collapsed, and Barnsley were good, but like he said, it didn't tell the whole story to a point.
Yeah,
like everyone said.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan's come in a few times saying that Bristol Rovers played really well, and looking at it, they probably bombarded Barnsley a little bit more with 15 shots and 4 on target. But yeah, possession wise and kind of passing, the amount of ball that they've had,
pretty
Barnsley will be up there.
It's still mental that Scott Sinclair's in League One.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Surely it's still too good for League One, but there we go.
It's always a
Fantastic
tough place to go
signing
for
for
Bristol.
Yeah.
I think that's it. It's one of those grounds where it's a bit of a fortress to go to, isn't it? Very fans are close to
I've
you.
never had the pleasure of the Memorial Ground, Bristol.
You get a chance.
Never
Go,
been.
it's superb.
One Rovers Vlogs has popped in. He said we should have won. Apart from the goal, Barnsley didn't have anything going forward. Marquis missed a sitter from 5 yards out. Collins missed a chance. Hit the woodwork multiple times. Should have won.
You get games like that, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. Any games that jump out to you guys, and we'll move down. We'll start with
there's
Jake.
one. Pompey really easily
with
winning 4-0 at Leighton Orient, and Leighton Orient start after romping the League Two title last season is a bit worrying. They've just got dumped both the league games so far. Obviously, I've watched 4-0 written all over it, and Tom's very, very happy, but it just seems like a demolition job. But if you look at the stats, only 4 shots on target and 4 goals for Pompey. That's efficient.
Yeah,
very efficient.
Very.
Although one of them were an own goal, weren't it? It were a cracker.
Well, good, but I think Pompey are one of the weird ones this year. If they can get it right, it'll go really well.
Yeah.
The problem is, when did Pompey have that mid-Pompey disaster? And if you're a Pompey fan, I apologise, but we see it every season.
Yeah,
we do. Yeah.
Always expecting Pompey to be up there, challenging, and we say that the Pompey shirt's very heavy, and sometimes it just weighs players down.
I mean, they've got a fantastic fan base as well, loyal fan base, and it's not a ground anybody likes to go to, Fratton Park.
Yeah,
because of its, I suppose, position right down on the south coast. But also,
I don't think many players like it either. I've heard in the past players don't like that pitch.
Yeah,
it's probably that bell that rings the whole bloody game.
Yeah, but a good win for Pompey, that,
Yeah, very good win for Pompey. And it's always nice when Pompey win 4-0 because it just it fits for 4-0 written all over it, doesn't it?
It does.
Doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Also, another one that were quite eye-catching to me were Lincoln doing Wickham 3-0.
Poor start for Wickham.
It is a very poor start for Wickham.
Hey, they've done better than last season. The winning games at home.
Hangover is lasting a little bit too long. But Lincoln, they're always formidable at Sincilbank anyway. And it looks like a really good win there.
Like Jake just said, Lincoln performing better than what they did last season because it was mainly draws at Sincilbank last season. So
that's right.
To start their home.
We did say at the start of the season if they could turn those draws into victories, they'd be well up there.
Yeah. I mean, they got beat first game, didn't they, at Bolton?
Yeah. But that's that's no disgrace, really, because Bolton look frighteningly good at the moment.
Yeah, so I think Lincoln will be happy to bounce back with a 3-0 victory at home to Wickham.
Wickham, I fear Wickham will do another manager change mid-season.
I think you're right.
I haven't seen anything from what they've brought in that looks like it's going to work.
Is it Matt Bloomfield, ex-player, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's manager there.
They basically try and gone down the route they did last time. And that
It
worked.
can't
but-
work as well, though, can it?
No.
I mean, it's a hard act to follow.
Yeah, was indeed. Jake, any League One game that jumps in for you?
Pretty decent for Port Vale putting that game behind them and then going to Reading and getting being at home and getting a win against Reading. And the thing is, Reading are a team off the pitch, buggered. I
they're a mess,
really
aren't they?
feel for their fan base, and I feel sorry for John Madejski because I don't think even he thought this would happen. But they've got another winding up order, so they've got another transfer embargo. They managed to get all those players in when they did, but it's just like 9 shots, 1 on target to 17 and 3. It's like even though they had a lot of the ball, you can have a lot of the ball and still do nothing.
Look at Swansea.
Yeah. A classic example. I think for Port Vale to put that result behind them, go, you know what? It happened. It's first game. Yeah, it was embarrassing. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Our goal difference looks crap right now. But to then put it behind you and then go and get a 1-0 win, that's nothing to be sniffed at.
No, I completely agree with that.
Result for them.
Yeah.
Because when you've just got top 7-0, it could all go it could all go wrong, couldn't it? With confidence and everything. That'll have restored the confidence. And I saw them at Donny in pre-season and they didn't look that bad.
No.
No.
Vale are the weird side. If they can have a good season, they could do well. But they've always been that team that's just in and about the relegation scrap. And you're just waiting for that one season where it clicks and they get a mid-table and move on from that.
Yeah, definitely. Lee, any League One game that takes your fancy?
I think you've just got to touch on Wigan again. With 6 points maximum, it's a great start. Obviously, the deduction, they're clawing it back quick as can be. So yeah, I think you've got to give him a special mention. Obviously, coming
definitely.
from 1-0 down.
They're down to -2 now, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They've nearly got it done, haven't they?
That's the ideal start because they're on a level playing field already and they can push on.
It's a good goal by Sam Hoskins, though, for Newport Town. Not Newport, Northampton Town.
I'm surprised that Hoskins is still there.
Shut up. They don't want you to say that. Transfer window's still open, Ian.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Wigan have had to fight back from this one, haven't they? They won relatively comfortable last week. But yeah, with Sam Hoskins in the team, you've always got that bit of quality, especially from dead balls like he showed with the free kick. But yeah, for him to fight back, it's showing grit and determination that they need being on negative points.
He's getting a tune out of a Maloney, isn't he?
Yeah. You reckon you might put that on the dressing room wall going and just saying, this is what we've got to do. 1 -8, chip it away. And
if they can get on 0 or plus points by the end of August, it'd been a fantastic start for them.
If they do that, they are all our predictions where we were going to have them is gone. If they start going on a run. But the thing is, it all depends on what the mindset is, because I think you've got the thing with Wigan. They've been in this position so many times, and they've still got players from that time who know how to get out of it. So I think that's really crucial.
Yeah, but you compare them to
mentality.
Reading. You compare them to Reading. Obviously, Reading they're in a bit of bother off the pitch. Wigan, their players are obviously fighting for the jersey. Compared to Reading, and they're not, and they could be more or less level points with him. So,
you know, it would be really weird if Reading went down again.
I don't think they could survive as a club. With a massive stadium like that to maintain.
I don't like saying things like that. I never want to see clubs of that size go down, but you know what their overheads are off the pitch. It's like you can't sustain that in lower league, because I can't see them having great season ticket sales going down to League One.
No.
I think, like you say, I think they struggle to survive as a club, to be honest. One mention I do want to make before we move on from, two mentions before we move on from League Two. I think it's a fantastic start for Stevenage, coming up from League Two, beating Shrewsbury 2-0.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but for me, a very good result back from Cambridge, another team that's 2 out of 2 in League One. And Cambridge were a team that we all expected to be kind of in and around a relegation scrap. I know we're 2 games in, and it could still happen. They could have absolutely fall off a cliff. But I think starting with points on the board very quickly, I think it's
he's an
it's a good
underrated
place to be.
manager, is Bonner.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. I mean, he performed a miracle to keep him in that league last season.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the championship, we'll get the banner changed over. We've got some results flying in on this one. We will start with Rotherham Blackburn Rovers. So Ian and Lee both went to this one. Ian, you start us off on it, mate, and then Lee, interject your thoughts where possible. When you can get away.
Right. Hold on to your hats. Here we go. First off, I thought Rotherham were the better team. Blackburn started very well. The first 10 minutes, we could hardly get a kick. But I think then, I think about 15 minutes, Blackburn got a penalty. It was a bit of a clumsy challenge by Cameron Humphreys. And the Blackburn player, I think it was Leonard, made a bit of a show of it. But Bobby Madley, straight to the spot. No hesitation. He would aid to give it. Smodics took the penalty, hit the post, come bouncing out to, I think it was Tyrese Dolan, who were following in, and he hit the ball wide. It was a bit of a sitter, really. Then Rotherham started to grow into the game a little bit. I'm going to call him Fred because I can't pronounce his second name. Odiima or somebody. Anyway, he had a good chance. It looked like the keeper parried it, but Bobby Madley gave a goal kick. And then Smodics, who just missed the penalty, put a perfect through ball through for Hakeem Adoffin, who was at the edge of the area. He buried it absolutely superbly, give the keeper no chance. And Rotherham going at the break 1-0 up, and probably deservedly so, slightly. The second half starts, and from probably our first attack of the second half, Rotherham's first attack, we scored again. Floated ball in, and Odiima, Fred, diving header straight in the back of the net, 2-0. Everything's going fantastically. Fred, he scored his first goal for the club. He's obviously excited, went and ran to the fans, didn't take his shirt off, got a booking for over celebration. Blackburn kicked off. We had another situation. I think it was Hayden Carter brought Fred down on the edge of the box. Referee gave a free kick, and then Fred committed sort of like new rule suicide by giving the card thing to the ref. Why isn't he getting a yellow card?
Ian, before you go into your rant, I have something for you. So you don't go too far before you get into your rant. I've got a swear button, so if it gets bad, I can swear you out.
No, I'll try and control myself. Anyway, yeah, so he did the sign of the card. Bobby Madley's not having any of it. So 2 yellow cards in 90 seconds, off he goes. Yes, like I've said before we went on air, if you go into the letter of the law, both yellow cards in the new rules are justified. But there was absolutely no discretion there. Bobby Madley just thought, right, okay, I'm going to turn the events of this game, and he actually did. With 10 men against a decent Blackburn outfit. The rest of the game, the last half hour were like the Alamo. It was attack against defence. Credit Blackburn and credit particularly to Smodics, who were having a mare at that time in the first half. He scored 2 good goals, and Blackburn deservedly pulled themselves level. Two goals in 3 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And for the rest of the game and the 9 minutes added on, we were hanging on. Absolutely no doubt about it. Victor Johansson pulled a couple of really good saves off. Blackburn had a goal disallowed for offside, which it were offside because I was in line with it. And we escaped with a point. And the referee had to be when he was changed, he had to be taken out of a side exit. He just completely ruined the game for me.
Because
he
Ian was there
he
ready for him.
applied the rules correctly, but without any discretion. I mean, the one example that I'd like to quote is that I watched Match of the Day last night, and Isak scored a goal for Newcastle, and he ran to the side of the to the spectators, and one of them hugged him. Not even a hint of a yellow card. Probably because it was in the Premier League. I don't know. I just came out of there thinking the referee ruined the game.
Yeah, but Bobby Marley does that at every game he refs. Any game he does, he makes.
It's all about him, innit?
Yeah. It's all about him. And the problem is, we're getting to the point where we're getting more of those referees as well, where they want to be the centre of attention.
Yeah, and I thought Trevor Kettle had retired.
Yeah.
But
Big Trev.
But yeah, I were angry. But having said that, it would tinge with satisfaction that we got a point out of it, if you know what I mean. Because we could easily have lost it, and Lee will tell you that. We could easily have lost it.
Yeah.
I think only because you went down to 10. I think if it had not gone down to 10, I think possibly you'd have
I think if it had been 11 against 11, I think we'd have won the game.
Yeah.
But it just completely turned events.
It did.
I don't know. Did you enjoy the game, Lee?
It was a cracker for a neutral. I can't imagine what you were feeling being a Rotherham fan, because I know I'd have been pulling my hair out. What I don't get is, obviously, this new rule has now come into play, where the clamping out with players getting in their faces. But when he was gesturing the yellow card, he was actually on the floor. Yeah. So he's not actually in his face, is he? So I just think with this law, it's got to be a bit of common sense, but also that you've just mentioned with Isak, he's celebrating. It's got to be across the board if they're going to implement it. It's got to be across the board. Yeah, because it's teams are going to benefit and teams aren't. But then on the other hand, don't ruin the game, because you're taking the passion away from the fans and celebrating. It's part of the game. You love to see fans.
These rules were supposedly brought in to enhance the spectator experience. To cut down on time wasting, things like that, to have the ball in play more of the time. But it's having the opposite effect.
But what they want now is, if you're looking at it, yes, I'm all for getting out the players, the referee faces, the card thing. I hate that. It come over from Europe. I hate it. It's something I don't like, and it goes down to grassroots. They see the favourite player do it in the Prem or whatever. It goes down to grassroots. They're doing it to grassroots referees that need kicking out. The bit that gets me is, if you can't celebrate a goal and have that passionate feeling where you just celebrated, what's the point? Like, you've already seen it in the Prem, when a goal goes and it might be offside and they're waiting, and you've got that double celebration. Well, that double celebration always feels half-assed. It's like, oh, we have to celebrate now. Like, allow them to enjoy the passion. There's something in it with scoring your first goal. There's something in it. Like, there's going to be an incident this season where somebody will get the winner on the 90th or 90-10 minute, or whatever it is, 10+ minute, and someone's going to get sent off for over-celebrating.
Yeah.
But not over-celebrating, just going into the crowd, like... Over-celebrating.
I don't think Onyedinma over-celebrated his goal. I think he's kind of ran up towards the fans. He's a couple of yards away from them. More players have piled in, which is then the momentum's taking him into the crowd. And I don't think he's gone and kind of riled them up or done anything overzealously. I think the first yellow was harsh. I think the second yellow, I think John said it here. Doesn't matter if it was in the ref's face. Imaginary card gesture is a yellow no matter what. But
I agree with that.
A question to John on that though.
That's
if he's
fair
sat on the
enough.
floor,
but it's the first yellow card that I've got the biggest issue with. The first yellow card was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But he knows he's giving the yellow. He's literally booked him. Not 5 minutes. Just use your common sense. You've just ruined a game for me.
Well, players are going to have to learn a hard lesson. I don't think Fred will be doing that again.
I'll tell you now, there's going to be so many suspensions by the by the 1st of September, there's going to be some teams that have got at least 3 or 4 players suspended because they've just got so many bookings already.
Yeah.
I think the thing
But
is...
also, I mean, like I touched on before we went on air, Dan, it's the lack of referee accountability. They can do what the hell they like. They can ruin whatever match they like. Nothing is ever said to them, and they can go and ruin someone else's weekend the weekend after.
Yeah.
I think
no
if you're going to
accountability
talk
at all
to a referee these days, you're going to have to talk to them and not actually do the hand motion or whatever. I think you're going to have to. But the thing is, then you've got the thing is, then they're not allowed to crowd the referee, which I'm fine with that. I don't like it. It should be captain to captain like they do in rugby. Mic the refs up so we can hear what they're saying at least.
Yeah. So at least you can make an informed. Why did they make that decision?
Yeah.
But on the game, I thought it was a cracking game. Goals, missed penalty, obviously, he got the red card, but for a neutral, cracking game. I was impressed with both sides for different reasons. Rotherham, after the first 10, like Ian said, they woke up and really worked. They ran a hard working outfit, didn't let Blackburn play, and 2-0. It were fair, to be fair. Blackburn, they probed them down the flanks, but didn't really cause Rotherham any problems. And then the red, it was just like a tidal wave. Blackburn just kept coming, and you always thought they were going to be one winner. Then they played some good stuff. Substitutes really helped them as well. I don't know who the lad won the right, but he caused Rotherham some real problems coming on in the second half. But for a neutral, it was a cracking game.
Niall Ennis.
Yeah, and he were with Plymouth last season, weren't he?
He was a free transfer to Blackburn. Really good free transfer. What I will say about refs, and it's a good analogy, refs are like the steward with the yellow bibs on. They think they've got all the power because they've got the yellow bibs on. It's just a difference with the referee with his black top on. The thing is, I'm not going to criticise the ref too much because it's an hard job, because I wouldn't want to do it. But there's got to be some consistency. That's all we ask for as fans, is it be consistent.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I've just got a question for John. He said the player needs to blame here. I agree with that. I think he's obviously on the yellow card now. All players will have been told the new rule changes. I quite agree. So
that's not my argument. My argument is the first yellow card, which was absolutely crazy. I mean, as I've already stated, Fred scored his first goal for the club. It was a cracking goal. He's excited. He didn't do anything wrong, like jump into the crowd. Why is that a yellow card?
Don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I think.
What were your questions, Dan?
I forgot. I've tried asking it twice. I think for me, like watching the highlights, Fred's on the floor. I know he's gesturing the yellow card, but do the rules state that players can't ask referees questions? Because if he's not gestured the yellow card and he's just laid there and said, "Is that a yellow, ref?" Is that a yellow card? Is it the gesture in itself?
Something in the rules that say the only person that can question the referee is the captain on the pitch.
Is that it?
I'm sure I've read that somewhere.
It's very similar to what they're doing on the touchline, where it can only be the managers that speak to the ref or the assistant, kind of thing. I think that whole thing is going.
The gesture doesn't matter. If a player's questioning a referee's decision and asking him to book a player, then he'll end up getting booked, won't he?
I'll tell you now, I cannot wait until someone like Diego Simeone comes to the Premier League. He's going to get screwed.
Yeah. Right, I think we'll carry on complaining.
Conte's bad enough, isn't it?
So John's come back. It's the gesture in itself. See the Prem game today. Both Chelsea and Liverpool players booked for the same thing instantly. So maybe players just need to stop being so stupid and just play by the rules.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
But on that, Dan, refs need to tighten up with their decisions, because they're going to get. If the ref has got to be bang on with a decision, because otherwise you just players are going to get sent off for no reason at all because they are moaning. I'd moan as a fan for a bad decision. So if they're clamping down on that, they need to buckle up because we're going to end up with bloody 8-9 players.
I have a question for you, lads. Because we've got one head of the refereeing in Harold Webb now. Should it be that there's a head for each division in refereeing? So Championship, League One, League Two, and then they all report to
because
Harold Webb.
We need some recourse to sort of question things in each division. But having said that, you do get referees that referee in League Two, League One, and the Championship at the same time. You do get them.
Yeah. Do you know what'll frustrate me?
I don't know. I mean, something's got to be done. Definitely.
Yeah. What'll frustrate me is Donny are playing Everton in the Carabao Cup second round at the end of August at Doncaster. I guarantee you it's not a League Two ref.
Yeah. It'll be a Premiership ref.
Because it's on TV, they'll bring a better ref in. And that to me shows
Premier
the
League ref. We're all first name terms with the Everton players.
Yeah. So that to me shows the incapability of lower league refs at the minute, or the lack of trust that the refereeing department has in showcasing lower league refs on Sky TV. I reckon it'll be a high profile referee that comes down to that, and I think that's what frustrates me with refereeing. The standard just drops massively as you go down the leagues. It's a tough job. We absolutely hammer them every single week.
I'll tell you what, Dan, there's a full programme in midweek, League 1 and 2 games on Tuesday. Everybody's playing. I'd like to see the number of red cards given out.
Yeah. Be interesting.
We'll find out next week.
Yeah. Right. We're hurtling towards the hour mark. We'll move on to another moaning section of this show. We'll start with Jake on this one. Hull City 4, Sheff Wednesday 2. Tough start for the Owls back in the Championship, but it's going
to be a very tough start because we're starting with a new manager, and bear in mind he was a month in charge when we played Southampton. A month. He didn't have any of his players for pre-season. They've only just started getting them in now. A positive, and it does sound really weird, we got up by 7% in possession. It was 20% versus Southampton, so that's a positive. We're keeping the ball a little bit better by 7%. We didn't do well, but we managed to... Liam, sod off. That video done my sodding head in, and you know it does. Fuck off.
I can't read that, not in his voice.
Yeah,
come on Wednesday.
Come on Wednesday. I've done my head in. But the thing I've got is we didn't start well, but we managed to get the first goal. Now, Liam Messina said the whistle didn't go and it shouldn't have counted, but it still happened. It was a very smart free kick, took early, and we managed to get it. And it's a good goal by Delgado. And you want that. You want your new players to get on the score sheet. Now, for me, the penalty's soft. The penalty is very soft. Gregory does put his arms up, but unless we're going to start jumping for a ball where our hands are here and arms are here, you're not going to get the leverage. You need your arm to get the leverage to go up. Now, I think the referee's seen all the blood and gone, oh, it's a penalty straight away. It's soft. He does catch him, but he don't mean it. But again, it's one of those things. Some referees would give it, some wouldn't. I can understand why it got given in what the ref saw. It's a good penalty. It's a very good penalty taken on. And I think if we go in at half time, 1-0 up, we'd probably do better in the second half. And I think it killed a little bit of our momentum. But second half, we are marking zonally. So you're marking your zones instead of man to man. And those two shots from outside the box, it's because nobody's quick enough to run at them, can close them down. When you're marking zonally, you're told to mark your section. You're not meant to lead that section. And a lot of it was we were just backing off and backing off. We were giving them too much respect. Again, giving them way too much respect. We did it versus Southampton. We've done it versus Hull. The two goals he scored, to be fair, were absolutely incredible. And they were identical nearly. And the thing is, you've seen it from the get-go with how deep we were sitting. Keep sitting deep. But as soon as Connolly got his, and that was just a massive calamity. You can tell it's a new back four. I wouldn't want to be... Yeah. You could tell It was like there've been people saying, because we changed keeper this weekend to Vasquez, our new one on loan from AC Milan, that Dawson would have said that. No keeper's stopping them.
No, nobody's
Not a
saving
time-
them 2 strikes.
No, there were quality stuff. And the thing is, what's even more frustrating, Munoz signed him at Watford, so he knows what he can do.
Yeah.
That was annoying. Connolly goal. But what I will say is that the ball from Byers to Smith was what we've missed all through that game, because it was really good, got it done, and to get the second, great. Wednesday fans just need to be patient, time and patience with this squad. You could see bits and pieces of what was happening at Southampton, but this game, it wasn't there. I don't know if we're going back to basics. We couldn't pass the ball to one another. Look at the passing stats, 680 to 254. And most of that, we were giving things. In this game, we had 3 separate captains. Bannon went off at half-time. It got revealed that he got an injury in his ankle. He had an injection versus Stockport. Windass got the captaincy. Then Windass went off, and then Bayer got it when he came on.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, it will come good, but we're going to be that team where it's going to be really late, and then we're going to be having to play catch-up. A win next week is much needed, but a full week of having no games could be the helping for us.
Yeah.
It could be, yeah. I'm hoping that for us. Because, with the...
Well, you're hoping Wednesday we're going to win then, yeah?
No, I'm hoping that the week off, I'll never do that. The week off, we'll get some of our players back. I mean, Andre Green hasn't even made his debut yet because of work permit problems.
On Ainsley's point, surely you got to give managers time. A month in charge isn't long enough. If it's still like it come November, yeah, you change it. But would you really want to be in a Wednesday fan shoe with how long Chansiri takes to make a decision?
Yeah.
By that point, we could be gone again. That's my only issue with changing the manager.
I think you can do comparisons between Wednesday and Donny at the minute. New managers, new systems. It's not going to be perfect.
It takes
it's going
time.
to be a tough start.
It takes time.
Yeah, it's
What
going
do
to
you
take
think,
time.
Lee?
I'm really worried, I'll be honest, Louise. I was worried coming into the season, but I feel like the League One promotion has literally been erased from history. Because you look at Plymouth, you look at Ipswich, they're coming up with a positive push to go into Championship, and it's obviously paid. We might as well have just not got promoted because we've literally gone backwards. With Munoz, I feel like he looks at this team and thinks, how many would I really keep if I could? I feel he's working with a shoestring budget. Players are coming in just without, I feel like he's just got to accept them type thing because it's the best we can afford. I'm really worried. I just...
Do you think he's trying to brute strength too many of the tactics too early and maybe not go back to a Moore system, because you can't do that because that's Moore's system. That's what Moore got. You can't just tell another manager go do what the other bloke did. It's undermining your new manager, and you don't want to ever do that anyway. But could it be a case of turning around and saying, let's gradually bring in the new players, let's change this system, go like at the end of the game, he said he might experiment with going to a back 5. Yeah, that's all right. You're going to be defensive strong. What's that going to do at the top? Because what we're missing, we have zero creativity in midfield.
Yeah,
that midfield is getting ran right. And I did a video 2 weeks ago saying when they need to learn to play without Barry Bannon. Because the moment he goes off, we're nothing.
Yeah. And he's not the player in the Championship. He's older now. He's more leggy, so you need to protect him. You need legs round him. They were playing to see against Southampton.
He needs that quarterback role, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Where he doesn't have to run a lot.
I think that's what he's trying to do, though. Yeah. Munoz has turned around and said that he wants him to, and Barry Bannon said he wants players to find him and not the other way around. And I think Barry Bannon's really struggling to get onto his tactics. And there's an interesting person on Twitter called Tom Coaching, and he said this is very unlike Muniz side. Normally, thing, and he said, "I'm wondering if they're just struggling to get to tax it than anything else." Because you got to remember, they've had 2 years doing one way and one way only. It takes time to take that out your mental brain and relearn stuff.
It's plain to see Muniz wants to play pressing style of play, but we haven't got the players to do that.
No.
Hence why.
Can I ask a question of both Lee and Jake? Is there any legs in this Michael Smith to Derby rumour?
But it keeps cropping up. When they turned down a loan bid for him.
Yeah, well, I can understand them doing that.
But the problem is the gaffer turned around. He don't want to sell him because he said he's important for what he needs. The only reason he didn't play versus Stockport was ill.
Yeah.
The problem is how much that lad can get 20 goals a season in League One.
Yeah.
It depends what you're putting your price tag at. Because Chansiri will put him with 1 million, 1.5 million. I can guarantee you that.
Well, the season that we went down, which was in 1920 or 1819, he scored a dozen goals for us in the championship. So he can go. He can't go in the championship tier level. Yeah,
he did a dozen, and he did 9 the season before. He got championship experience. The problem is, I don't know if Derby can afford, in a sense, to do that. I don't know what their situation is, because I know they can spend money on transfer fees, but I'm pretty sure they're still at like an 8K wage thing.
Sure. Yeah.
And if that's the case, they're out of it, because I know he's on 12 at Wednesday.
Yeah. I think John
he took his goal very well, didn't he, Jake?
Yeah, very well.
I think John's comments hit the nail on the head. I think he's bang on the money there.
Yeah, he is.
This one, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He wants to play a certain way, but he just don't, like I say,
we ain't got to play for it.
Yeah.
It's midfield. For me, it's midfield. And the thing is, one of the big ones as well, Marvin Johnson, who got quite a lot of things, ain't in the team. And he turned around at the end of the game and said, if you want to know why the player's not in, ask him. That's not a good answer.
No, it
isn't. That said something's happened. And then a fan goes and asked Marvin Johnson on Instagram, his socials, said, how come you're not playing today? And he said, I'm fit. He said, it's just football. It happens. I'm used to it. That's what happens. I think there's going to have to be a pride thing where he goes, right, let's just have a sit down of the squad. Let's try this and go for it. And hopefully it'll come good. Because as of right now, again, I only had us tipped for surviving. And that's all I want from this season. If we survive, that is a damn good season.
Oh, it is a very good season.
Yeah. That's
and I've been turned around and said, I need to be more ambitious with that kind of thing. Nope, I'm not going to be ambitious. I just want to survive.
Yeah, you need to be realistic on your first season back in Championship, I think.
Yeah. I think you're deluded if you think we were going to finish anywhere but. I really do.
Yeah.
With turmoil at club and player turnover, it was never going to be anything but try and fight off relegation.
I literally cancelled a live stream.
20th place is a fantastic season for any even Rotherham or Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Finish above Rotherham, you're safe.
Yeah.
Honest to God, because Rotherham are prime, they know how to fight. And it showed that yesterday, Ian.
Yeah. There's one thing you'll get off our players, and that's a shift.
Yeah.
Every game. It might not all go well, but you'll get a shift out of us.
The thing is, any football fan can accept defeat if you see that.
The manner.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They've put that shift in and you've just lost by odd goal. It's when you look at like that one at goals, they're just stood watching him. It's just, I could go down.
Amazing, isn't it?
It's soul destroying, isn't it, as a fan?
Yeah. Lovely stuff. So, I think we've all had his whinge. We've had a poor start to the season. I think Ian's at best start of all four of us. We've
got a point. Yay!
Yeah, getting a point on board. Positive that you three guys have got compared to me is you've scored goals. We've not scored a goal yet. So, hopefully that'll change this week.
It'll come down, don't worry.
Yeah. Moving on to Plymouth, ATID's been in the chat. earlier on, he said unreal performance from us yesterday. Ken Seamer and that Luisia
Cracking
pocketed.
point, but they did sound like they should have won that.
Yeah, pocketed. Dan Scar's magic, and he does wear a magic hat indeed. Lewis Gibson is the best freebie of all time.
How did
Should
they
have
get
won.
Lewis Gibson on a free?
All we need is a better final ball,
come
and we'll
on.
walk in this Tin Pot League. The confidence is
I
great.
wonder if he's still saying that in January.
But no, a fantastic result for Plymouth.
Yeah.
It looks like they've
Yeah.
more than matched Watford at home as well. So a great start to life in the Championship.
Vicarage Road is a very difficult place to play. And
It's a
any
difficult
sort of
place to
positive
play, and
result
it's a
there is
difficult place for
fantastic.
them to get to because they had a lot of train cancellations. Because I know a
They did.
couple who said that they just it was a nightmare.
And also, if you're playing against a Watford Watford team wearing that flaming kit,
it is horrible.
have you seen it? Watford's own kit.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awful.
Anthony's in the chat. He says he agrees with Lee. I'm not sure what he's agreeing with. I think I might have missed something what was said.
The team putting a shift in and just losing by.
Yeah, I'm with you. Huddersfield held Leicester for 70 odd minutes, and I thought we was getting battered. Apparently, we were so much better. Not seeing the highlights yet, so I did watch the highlights last night. And to be fair, you looked in with a shout. Warnock came out after the game and said that he was proud of what the players put in. But I think when you're coming up against Leicester and the quality that they possess, it's always going to be tough. But looking statistically at possession, Leicester's always going to have a lot of the ball in the Championship. But 30% possession, you've got 13 shots at goal, 3 on target.
That's good going,
I think you're relatively close with a few. I think some were pot shots from outside of the box, but from the highlights, it looked like you held your own. Unlucky not to score, and then Leicester. It's a disappointing goal to concede for the keeper. It's gone straight through his legs. And I think he'll not want to see that one back. Yeah,
it looked like a goalkeeping mistake to me.
Yeah, it did indeed. Straight through his legs and just squirmed through him, didn't it? So a well-struck shot, but something that the keeper should really be dealing with. Any other games that you guys want to touch on before we round today off?
Well, what about
QPR getting a win?
Yeah, good result. Very good result.
Needed.
And that young lad, that Armstrong, looks very useful.
I can see why Darren Moore wanted.
One.
I can see why Darren Moore wanted to loan him in January, and we only didn't get him because they had an injury crisis.
Oh, he's a unit as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's a big lad.
Good player. Yeah. He's a good player. I thought that was a good result for QPR. What they needed after last week. Yeah. Similar to Vale, needed to get that win back, get the confidence up, and it looks like they did at Wickham. Soak up a lot of pressure and got a win.
Yeah,
did indeed.
That's how Ainsworth's teams play.
Yeah. Lee, there's a question in the chat for you. Ainsley seen your footy scram video at Donny. He wants a rating out of 10. And was the service as slow for you as it was for us home fans? There were a couple of teething problems on the first home game.
Oh, right. So I did the friendly, so it was quite... I was in the away end, quite quick. I'm there this week, so I will gauge it then. And I believe I get a score at 8.5 out of 10. Don't quote me on that. I think I did.
I thought it was absolutely lovely. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, but like I said, Donny's, I went last year and he was absolutely abysmal. Probably one of the worst in the EFL for me. Sorry, Dan. But
I agree.
they've upped the level. Everyone wants to see. It's part and parcel of the game, and in footy scrum, we all like to see it. We even like to see the pictures, even though non-league with a good bit of footy scrum. You can appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Any other games that you guys want to touch on before we round
what
off?
about the 4-4 at St Mary's, Southampton, Norwich?
Yeah, they got the money's worth, didn't they?
They did that, and some of the goals were cracking.
I think
two really good teams going hell for leather at each other.
Yeah. Where do we think Southampton will be at the end of this transfer window? Because the talks as Armstrong, the talks as Adams, and there's the other player. Do you think they're going to be able to keep them, or do you think they'll be off?
I think it depends on the player itself as well.
Now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think West Ham have got him. I don't know. There might be last-minute bids coming.
I think the other
Armstrong
lads
can
done,
do
innit?
it at
The
Premier
one that
League
gone
level.
to Liverpool, Chelsea.
Yeah, Levia or something, is it?
Yeah.
Lavia.
Lavia.
Yeah, Lavia.
I think
that's
if
it.
they keep hold of the likes of Che Adams, I don't think they'll be far short of going up. It depends. Yeah.
HID says that he's hoping that they'll leave before Saturday. But I
That's a
think,
massive game, that, isn't it?
yeah,
Plymouth Southampton.
I think it depends on the player themselves, though, as well, a little
Yeah.
bit. I know clubs have got a massive pull in terms of selling a player or putting in a decent bid. But I think it is overlooked sometimes that a player might be enjoying his time at a club and might
Also,
be
you don't know
settled
what the
with his
family
and stuff. It's not
situation
seen
is.
as much anymore. But I think if you've got players who are settled with families down there, that may be a deciding factor for them staying, even though they're down a division, and working hard to push up. I mean, you look at Barry Bannon at Sheff Wednesday, probably been able to play at a higher level, but is actively come out and said that he wants to stay at Sheffield Wednesday because his family's there. It feels like home, and he's been quite happy playing down a division and working hard to get you back into the Championship. There may be players in the Southampton squad that they've got a similar mentality to that. I don't know.
And let's be honest, do they need the money with parachute payments?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
I were hoping
That's
Harry
a good
Kane was going to
point,
think about his family.
That's a good point.
I think he did for about 4 years, mate, and then got fed up and not winning out. And then went to Bayern and then won out.
He was the jinx. It's him. Spurs are winning a lot.
Gotta be.
You know what I found funny about that game because I watched it? It was Harry Kane trying to go to the referee and complain about something and go, "Oh, hang on, I don't know the language." His face was like,
Did you see him on start at game? I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if he went to handshake him and he just buyed him.
You know what I love though? You know when he was going to like the airport, he looked like he'd been taken hostage. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't think he's sharp his tool in box, to be quite honest with you. He's a wonderful footballer. But
Hey, his brother worked the hardest he's ever worked in 2 weeks. His brother's his agent.
Is it?
And he's his only client.
yeah.
His only client's Harry Kane.
He's
And he
retired
worked
now.
so hard. Yeah. He probably rang his mum and said, "I'm so tired after this week."
He'll still
So-
be a success there, though.
Oh, yeah.
We have to
Moving on to our prediction league table that we're doing throughout this season. Obviously, we've got midweek games happening this week in League 1 and 2. We're going to skip those. We're jumping straight onto next Saturday's fixtures for any predictions. So the games that we're going to go for: Sunderland versus Rotherham, Sheff Wednesday versus Preston, Bolton versus Wigan in League 1, Donny versus Notts County, and Colchester MK Dons. So, Ian, we'll start with you, mate. What scorelines are you going for on this one?
Well, much as it breaks my heart, but we're absolutely useless away from home. So I'm going to put Sunderland 3, Rotherham 0.
I've gone 2-0 on that one. Sheff Wednesday, Preston.
I'm going to think Wednesday will get the first point. I'm going to put Wednesday 1, Preston 1.
I've matched you on that one, mate.
I've got to pick Bolton because they're so strong at home. So I'm going to put 2-0 for Bolton against Wigan.
I've gone 2-1 to Bolton on that one.
Unfortunately, Dan, I don't think you'll get anything here. I'm going to put Donny 1, Notts County 3.
I've gone 1-1 with that one. And then finally,
And the last
Colchester
one,
MK.
Colchester MK Dons. Collier, funny side. They got a good result Saturday. I'm going to put a 2-2 draw there.
And I've gone 2-1 MK Dons in that one. Lee, fire away your predictions, mate, for those 5.
Yeah, Sunderland to win 2-1.
Yep.
Wednesday 1-1.
Yep.
Bolton to win 3-2.
Yep.
Notts County to beat Donny 3-1. Sorry, Dan.
All right. You're too uninvited back on.
MK Dons to win 2-0. And remember, if anyone wins this in chat, they've got a slap up meal at Dan's at the end of the season.
I'll fix it, don't you worry. Jake, fire away, mate.
2-0 to Sunderland.
Yep.
1-1 Wednesday, Preston.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for an upset. Wigan 1-0 Bolton.
Wigan 1-0, yeah?
Yep. Not County 3, Donny 0. Sorry, mate.
Horrible.
MK Dons 2, Colchester 1.
2-1. Lovely. So get your comments in. We'll get you up on the screen as well. Because hopefully, let's see if this works. Oh, that's too close.
Yay!
That's it.
There we go. We will get there. So last week's predictions are on screen, and score lines. Obviously, there's a lot of red and orange there. We're not very good as a group, are we? But points were added to last week's total. So we have Ian currently sitting top, mate. You're coming for a slap-up meal at mine at the minute. MTFC is joint top with you, so it looks like I'm cooking for 3. I'm in third, so hopefully I can just have a meal on my own. We'll go with a microwave meal.
Ian likes his steaks.
Jake in 4th, 80 ID in 5th, Lizzie in 6th, Lee in 7th, Worko in 8th, Jonathan in 9th, Neil, you're in 10th, Liam Martin is 11th, Adam in 12th, Bailey in 13th, and Lewis in 14th. I think that is everybody. Yeah, 14 involved. So get your comments in for your predictions. We'll get them into the table and update you next week. But that brings us to the end of episode 40. We're hurtling towards the big 5-0. Might do something special for that one. We will see. But yeah, I've enjoyed this one. We've been able to
Dan, keep your gob shut.
Session.
The last time you said about doing something special, you ended up running around your stadium butt naked. Let's not.
That was special. For everyone involved.
Ian's doing it at Rotherham this time.
Good God.
Hate to watch that.
My money days are over, mate.
Ellie would and all.
Yes. So we will go around the screen. Any final words? We'll start with Jake.
Look, football back, we all love it and stuff like that, but us guys who do all the content creation, we're just fans. Don't take it out on us. We can't do it about it. Nah. If we could, we'd try to, but you know what? I don't want that pressure. It's like I've always said, I don't want to ever own a club. I don't ever want to manage my club. Sod it, I'm a fan. The word's in the word fan. I enjoy it. So don't take it out on us lot if you don't like it. And remember, we're human.
Well said.
Completely agree. Ian, any final words, mate, before we wrap up?
No, very therapeutic. I've got a lot off my chest, which I needed to after yesterday, and enjoyed it again.
Lovely stuff. That's what we're here for. Lee, any final words, mate?
No, great show again. Great to be back proper in the thick of it now and just enjoying this football. Thanks for everyone watching.
That's a bit of a stretch, isn't it, saying you're enjoying your football? We got battered 4-0. We're definitely in the thick of it.
We didn't have to watch Hull versus Wednesday. You went and saw Rotherham instead.
Well, I saw what we're coming,
Jake.
Went to a proper team. On that note, I think it's best to say that is it today done. Thank you for watching. This has been the 72 review. If you've enjoyed it, big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below if you're watching this on repeat. Subscribe to all of the people on the screen. All that's left for me to say is thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.